So you don't see the new technologies of renewable energy could play a role that could overtake fossil fuel benefits?
Well, it depends on your time horizon and what's the evidence. And the context here is, I'm not telling anyone you cannot use solar or wind. The solar and wind people are telling us, including telling people in Africa, you cannot use fossil fuels. So this is very important. One side of this debate is a coercive side, and the other side is a pro-freedom side. So my view is you should use all sources of cost-effective energy, and you're free to use them. But you really should make sure you're doing cost-effective things. There are a lot of claims about solar being cost-effective that are not true because they don't factor in the full costs of solar. But I'm all for, if you can find truly cost-effective ways to use solar, you should use them. But that's very different from dictating, hey, the whole world needs to operate mostly on solar and wind in the next 27 and a half years.
Yeah.
And it's particularly perverse because solar and wind have not shown any potential whatsoever to do this. First of all, they only provide electricity, which today is 20% of energy. Over time, that'll increase, but still, that's increasing from a pretty small base. And if you look at electricity, how many places in the world are self-sufficient with solar, wind, and batteries? Zero. Nothing is even close to this. The places that use the most solar and wind, such as Denmark and Germany, have huge dependence on their neighbors to give them electricity when solar and wind are down, and to take their excess electricity when they overproduce. Same where I live in California. We have the same situation. And what you see is the places that are using the most have high prices. And the reason is because when you have solar and wind, they can almost, at any given time, I should say, at any given time, they can go to zero, which means that you need almost 100% reliable infrastructure. So you have to pay for all the gas plants, the coal plants, the nuclear plants, as if you had no solar and wind, but then you pay for the solar and wind and the transmission lines. And so that ends up adding quite a bit in the way of cost. So this is not something that's out competing fossil fuels. Right now, it's adding to the cost of fossil fuels. And so the idea of let's force the undeveloped world to do this, I find this particularly perverse. And you definitely should not believe it. Like, if the developed world is advocating something that it not only did not do, but is still not doing, and it's causing problems when we're doing it, why should the poorest parts of the world believe, oh, this is the way forward?